Okay, so hi everyone. This is Lou Martin, and I'm a conscious channel for spirit. I'm blessed to be here with my new friend and colleague, Miguel Dean. Miguel, good morning, my friend.
Hello, Lou. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
How's,
It's
how's the
hey,
weather in the UK?
the weather.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, kind of UK-ish. It's grey and raining, and it's a little bit chilly. But yeah, that's why we've got such a green and pleasant land.
that's right. That's right. So Miguel and I are working on. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and how we're connected here? I'll leave you have a chat for a minute. Yeah.
A little bit how we've connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are. Yeah. It's always interesting, isn't it? 8 billion people on the planet, and life divinely orchestrates that certain people should meet and connect. So, in amongst that divine play, we are involved in a beautiful project that is the kind of been birthed really by Anrita Melchizedek,
Mm-hmm.
which is called Voices of the Light Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of two levels to it, really. Well, there's probably multi levels, but the
Right.
two key levels. The one level is that we're working and towards a 4-day event in Glastonbury over the summer solstice this year,
Right.
which will be a kind of conference, and there are 4 co-hosts, of which I am one.
Very good.
And then there are 24 facilitators, and the title sort of says it all. Voices of the Light Tribe. It's this: the time of the lone wolf is over, and it's time for us light workers and trailblazers and beings of the heart and angelic, spiritual. For everybody to come together and really start. Because what is the saying that the whole is more than the sum of the parts. Yeah, that when we come together, something really,
Yes.
really, really.
Yes. Synergy. Yes.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. So that's how we've been connected. We're both involved in that event, and then the other layer of the Voices of the Light Tribe is it's sort of like more virtual and online, and it's almost like the event at Glastonbury will be a launch. And there are going to be online webinars, and there's going to be training and support for light workers that perhaps aren't so great at doing the whole sort of business aspect of of following their passion and following their heart and sharing their gifts. So it's really exciting, and it's pressing my buttons, which is
Good.
always good. It's getting me out of comfort zone. It's getting me to meet beautiful people, and it's a real blessing. Yeah, it's exciting.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, that's great. Thank you. I could give my definition, but I really wanted to give you a chance to hear yours, and you added a lot to what I know already at this point. And and Rita is a wonderful light worker and just an incredible organizer and producer. Really is the word that comes to mind. And we're all blessed to be a part of this energy. And it's lifting us all up here at the same time, which is great grace,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, and Rita, she blows me away really with what she's doing, and the website and the kind of event management and organisation. It's like that was just a total nightmare for me. It's like
sure,
I can't do that. No, that's
yeah. I'm glad she's volunteered. Truly,
Yeah,
very
sure.
good. Very good. So, my friend, you and I and 2 other chaps, I connected with Damien last night, and he blew me away. We did some energy work together, and he's extraordinary. His gifts with spirit are amazing, and so I love your poetry. You are a published author, and you mentioned you have a new book that's in the works right now. Take any of that up that you want to chat about, please.
Okay. Thank you, Lou.
Yeah.
There's 2 books that are happening at the moment that are in the publication process, actually, but it's very different. The one is I'll just touch on very briefly is a children's book called Little Mouse and the Apples.
Okay.
So it's just a very short story for sort of 4 to 7 year olds, but yeah, it's infused with love and and light and so on. And what I really
Right.
like about that book is that I just had this kind of like image, this vision of little children being read this story in their bed, tucked up in bed, being read by their parent, and
Right.
drifting asleep with the magic and the energy of the story, sort of entering their dream world and drifting
Beautiful.
asleep with them.
Right. Great.
So that's Little Mouse and the Apples. But yeah, the big adventure really is the adult book, which is called Bring Him Home, a twin flame love story.
All right.
And it is kind of what it says, really. It's it's about it's about a twin flame love story.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
the
Which you're
power.
speaking from personal experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
from personal experience, and it's about the power, really, of um, relationship. Conscious relationship to for us to evolve and to ascend. And
Right.
this experience that I had with this amazing, beautiful woman,
Right.
uh, where we just there was such a strong catalyst energy where it was just it was a really passionate, powerful, painful. It was just everything, really in the
Sure.
mix.
Right.
And it was written a little bit in a. There was I always felt this kind of annoyance at 50 Shades of Grey and how it had been so popular, and
Right.
obviously illustrated this kind of shadow aspect of sexuality, and how it's all very taboo when we don't talk about sex and all that. So I wanted to put something out there because it is quite passionate and erotic book that I've written, but I wanted it to be, to sort of be if 50 Shades of Grey is the shadow, I wanted this one to be the light and the power and the healing and the beauty of sacred sexuality, of wild,
Mm.
passionate,
Mm-hmm.
conscious sexuality.
Wow.
So it's
Beautiful.
a bit of it's a bit of a two fingers up at 50 Shades of Grey in a way.
Great. Great.
And to illuminate some of what I feel some of the myths around the whole twin flame thing, that
Yeah.
I think people can get a bit lost with, with the external. We're so taught to look outside for love, for happiness, for peace, for success, for everything. And when we really know, we've come to know, and we're deepening our knowing that it's all an inside job.
Right.
So the theme that definitely runs through the book is all about how we that although what's happening on the outside with our twin flame person, man or woman, is always a signpost and an invitation to look within. It's always just reflecting something that needs some attention, that needs some love, that's not in alignment with truth within ourselves. So that's kind of that's what the book's about. It's in we're kind of almost finished with the editing process. The plan is for it to be in print by summer solstice this year.
Great.
So
Great.
watch this space.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So Miguel, would you tell us a little bit about your own personal story of how you have come to be living this very conscious life of service and sharing your passions for poetry and writing and inspiration with people?
Yeah, sure, Lou. Yeah, thank you. It always feels when I'm asked this kind of question that I just have to begin at 7 months old when my mother left her body. She got cancer and very, very quickly, was gone.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I can see that was the real primal wound and catalyst, that really set me on my journey, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny, we look back and we can see all the little stepping stones that connected, that have helped us arrive at where we are, and that was really where it began.
Yeah.
I had that experience a few times of experiencing the divine love and the mother embodies, and then
Yes.
having it abruptly taken away. It was I was looked after by an auntie after my mom died, and then that was taken away suddenly again. So there was a sort of
Really?
beauty, love, and then whoosh, it's gone. Then
Yeah.
I had it for a third time with my stepmother, who then gave birth to her own child, and myself and my brothers and sisters were kind of pushed to the side a little bit. So, you know,
Okay.
before I was 5 years old, I'd experienced this kind of deep wound 3 times.
Wow. Yeah.
So that programmed me. It feels like, you know, that really programmed me and sort of kind of like wound me up like a little wind up, you know, toy, like ready to, okay, this is your direction, this is your focus, this is what you are here on
Right.
this earth, you know, what it's all about. To go in search of that, you know, it's like if you know, you've had the most exquisite meal or something, and then you wake up in the morning and it's like, wow, what was that I ate? Like, you know, but I can't remember anything. How do I find that again?
Right. Right.
It was kind of like that, you know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so, you know, as I was saying before in relation to the book, initially we start out looking on the outside all the time. You know, I went in search of it, and I went in search of it as a young man through relationship with woman, you know, looking for woman to complete me, for woman
Sure.
to,
Of course.
that hit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I relate.
And yeah, and that led to quite a lot of pain because, you know,
Yeah.
the pain is, it seems to me that pain is it's like that game that we play, you know, when we were little. It's sort of like am I hot, am I cold, and you're looking around the room sort of thing, and you're going, you're hot, hotter, hotter, colder, colder. It's like the pain sort of thing directs us. If it's painful, it's like, no, you're in the wrong area, like focus somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. So through trial and error, I became more aware. I eventually, it's inside. It's like that, you know, you're looking everywhere,
Right.
and running around and traveling the world, and it's like, you know, she's inside you. It's kind of like that pantomime thing, you know, he's behind you. So yeah, that was, you know, that was a big part of it all. And, you know, in amongst that, because of my childhood wounds and stuff, I sort of grew up with pretty low self-esteem.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, my stepmother was very abusive, very violent. And, but, you know, when I left home, I unconsciously chose a world that would reflect back to me how poorly I felt about myself, you know.
Right. Right.
So I sort of fell into a real shadowy world of violence and crime and drugs and homelessness. So, you know, I spent about 7 years doing the sort of new age traveller thing, living in buses and trucks and vendors and
Right.
living an itinerant lifestyle. And a bit of that time was spent begging on the streets. And yeah, I just got myself in a real mess, really.
Right. Bless your heart. Yeah.
You know, yeah, dark night of the soul and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Chaotic times. But that was what I felt I was worth at the time, you know. That was what I felt.
Sure,
you know.
sure. What shifted it for you, Miguel? How did you shift out of that?
Yeah, it was really the real catalyst was the birth of my son. I was still living on the road at the time, and I remember kind of like thinking, you know, when my partner was pregnant, it was like, all right, you know, I'm going to be a dad. That's going to make, you know, and there was this wish that all of it, that everything would be better. You know, that it would be like a magic wand that all of a sudden, you know, I'd feel like a man, because I was very aware all this time that I felt like a boy in a man's body. It was like, it's something just didn't feel right at all. You know, there was a misalignment, a disconnect inside me.
Yes.
But what the birth of my son did was it just catalyzed the pain, actually, you know, because it became very clear that just having becoming a father didn't just make it all magically okay, and suddenly I wasn't at peace with myself.
Right.
On the contrary, it became clearer that the drugs weren't working anymore, and I was getting increasingly angry and, bad-tempered and needy and insecure. I wasn't a nice person to be around. And I think that was partly because, you know, I'd always been sort of like scratching around for the crumbs of love from woman, you know, trying to fill this hole inside me that had been created, you know, through the sort of child trauma. And then, you know, my partner, of course, you know, was then giving all her love to the baby.
Yes.
So it just made my pain even more acute.
Right.
And and I woke up one morning and thought, you know, perhaps I should just walk away from here. What am I bringing to the table? You know, I'm a
Mm.
waste of space.
Mm.
My son would be better brought up with just his mom. You know, I'm
Wow.
such a,
Right.
a dark, you know, aspect of this dynamic.
Yeah. Despair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was a voice inside me that we talked about it at one point, and you know, about me maybe seeing a counsellor. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've been living sort of outside of society, you know, sort of in the underworld, you know, for 7 years, and you
Mm.
know, there was no doctors, no dentists, so it didn't bother with any of that sort of stuff.
Right.
It was so the idea of seeing a counsellor was like quite terrifying, and you know, how on earth is that going to help? You know, just
Right. Right.
talking to some random person, you know.
Sure. You don't need anyone. You're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, but
Bless your
but
heart.
yes, you know, something. It was kind of like the last thing. It really was. It was like, okay, well, I'm going to try this one last thing before I give up on myself,
Yes.
give up on my
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, you know, the counsellor that I bumped into, which is a whole story in itself, how I ended up with the counsellor that I ended up with, but
Right.
he was just like a, you know, an angel. Really,
Wow.
he was just what I needed, and he just asked a few
Beautiful.
simple questions and listened. And
Wow.
for the first time, it really was for the first time I began to realize the connection between what had happened to me as a child and how I was living as a young man. You know, I hadn't pieced the two together before.
Right. 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 Beautiful.
And all these light bulbs went on, and it was like, all right, you know, wow, I need to move into a house. I need somewhere safe. I've got work to do. I need, you know, inner work to do and healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to get married because I want to show a commitment to my partner and my son. And I
Right.
want to, and for the first time, you know, because I'd only ever really been doing sort of casual sort of labouring work and farm work and just,
Right.
you know, very physical work up until that stage.
Yeah.
Thinking, you know, I had no idea that maybe I had some purpose or something I could contribute of value.
Right.
But the counsellor so blew me away with, you know, it just seemed such a simple process that just woke me up and turned all these light bulbs on.
Wow.
That I enrolled at a college to do a counselling qualification, and it was like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to help. And that was the beginning of, wow, perhaps I can serve. Perhaps I can,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there is some value in some reason for me being here, and that perhaps I can make a positive contribution to other people's lives.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So that was kind of it. Yeah, that was the beginning, really, when I was about 28 years old. What's that, 22 years ago?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
And yeah, if you want to know any more, though, you have to read. The first book is called Stepping Stones in the Mist, and that's an autobiographical book. So that tells the story, really, from when
Great.
I was 18 to about 7 years ago when it was published. Yeah,
Okay. Good. Wonderful. Thank
that
you.
was quite a journey as well.
Yeah. 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 Brilliant. So tell us how you got from that to starting to write some poetry, because your poetry is really wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd written a few little bits and bobs here and there, but nothing much. I mean, to be honest, it all really started after this twin flame relationship where this woman just so cleaned me out. And I would say, when I look back, it was, you know, so alchemized my own twin flame union. You know, there was a wholeness about me for the first time, and just with divine timing, the twin flame journey came to an end.
Right.
And then 4 weeks later, I was speaking at the Goddess conference in Glastonbury.
Right.
And I kind of had this, yeah, I would say I was just kind of immersed in this divine feminine energy for 6 days while I was there.
Wow.
Like my brain was just, my whole masculine side of me was just totally taken offline, and I was just in this swirly, floaty, altered state of consciousness for 6 days.
Nice.
And when I came out of there, yeah, I had a lot of sort of like really profound, you know, for the most part, very innocent connections with women, and kind of like sort of realizing this thing that there was this kind of transmission of energy taking place
Mm-hmm.
that women were feeling.
Mm.
And I came away and began, you know, just this energy just started moving through me, really, you know.
Right.
And
Beautiful.
I mean, it was happening. It really began, I guess, with the twin flame experience because my her name was Julia, and
Okay.
she became my muse, I guess. For the first time, I had a muse, and she inspired some initial pieces of writing.
Great.
But then I found that that once I came back, that I could almost just sit down and just think of a title or just a little idea would come to mind, and I would just sit down and the rest would just come flooding out, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very effortlessly.
Beautiful.
So that was kind of what happened. Yeah, yeah. I guess it's just, and like I guess similar to channeling or transmissions or whatever. It just
Mm-hmm.
feels like it moves through me. It doesn't feel as if it's mine.
Sure.
Uh,
Absolutely. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a state of grace, is what I call it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it feels really beautiful, and it's really getting this publishing deal because the first book was self-published. The second book, the children's book, is a kind of contribution. It's a kind of half published and half me paying to have it published. And
Okay.
this third book is the final one that was like, that we love this manuscript enough to invest in
Mm.
the whole
Wonderful.
editing process, etc. So that was kind of like the final piece that I needed
Yeah.
for me to go, I'm a writer, to really feel that, to embody that and really go deep inside. And that was also one of the gifts of my twin flame. She was the first person who said, you just write so beautifully. You have the soul of a poet. You must write. Uh,
Great.
she didn't actually know at that stage that what that meant was I was going to write a book about me and her, but, she might not have been so keen on you must write because she's quite a private person. So it's been
Ah,
a journey doing the whole, sharing that and
sure. Funny,
having
huh?
her blessing for the whole project.
Right. Isn't it ironic how it all works that way? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's getting there with it. She's
Good.
seeing that it's a gift. It's for getting her out of her comfort zone in a way. But
Sure.
from initial sort of terror and fear, and she's learned to trust me through the process, and see that the book hasn't been written as a, wasn't she a bitch and aren't I a hero?
Right. Right. I
Um,
think we're done with those books. Yeah.
definitely,
It's
definitely.
a new time for the balance, as you and I know, my friend, between the masculine and the feminine, honoring each other, and your relationship with your partner, and your wonderful book, and helping to co-create Glastonbury, and all that you're bringing into my life already is greatly appreciated by both of you. So I really want to thank you both for what you're doing.
Thank you, Lou. Yeah, yeah, and the feeling's mutual. I know that. I put a wish out there into the universe to connect with more conscious men.
Mm,
There's
thank you.
been a bit of a deficit really, and that is being fulfilled. I see that being fulfilled now because I'm aware of as much of a lot of my journey has been around healing the mother wound and the divine feminine. My father was pretty absent, and that there have been some issues around trusting my brothers, and
Sure.
really the whole male thing that we have of that we get programmed with of competition and all that sort of stuff. That another man is competition and you have to be better than and
Sure.
all that stuff. So our connection is healing for me as well, my friend.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Well, brilliant. I literally just a couple days ago got the inspiration to put out for an online group for men for the first time. And I have a dear friend, Dorit, who's in the States, in Portland, and she's an astrologer. And she's saying, Lou, this Chiron in Aries, this is where the men are going to really start to want to heal their wounds and come together. And so I just can't resist sharing that to you. So you're of course very welcome. In divine timing, I put it out for St. Patrick's Day, which is Sunday, of course. So we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely, as you know, I'm sure you can imagine, my heart is with you 100% on what you've just shared there. 61 this year, and you're there, you know, at a tender young age of 50, from what I heard you say. So, yeah, it's been a lot of working with wonderful, amazing women as a healer for me over the last 30 years. 90% of my work and my one-to-ones have been with women. So this whole meeting with you and Damien and Will is like, whoa, look at this. You know, look what life is offering me here. 3 conscious men in my life all of a sudden. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go with everything, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you know, as I said, I really feel that the Voices of the Light Tribe events in Glastonbury, it's a seed, you know, that all sorts of stuff is going to grow from it, collaborations and friendships and unions and, you know, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's good.
Here we go. You know, the next chapter is beginning to unfold. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you know, we have our webinar. I just put a plug for that. That's coming Saturday week, which is going to be online, and people can go to voicesofthelighttribe.com and sign up for that. I think it's €22 for 2 hours, the 4 of us. My friend, you've blown me away here once again. I swear to God, this just gets better and better. You know, the question from my guides for all of us ongoingly is, how good can you stand it? And you know, this is another moment of standing it very, very nicely with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Would you give us a poem, Miguel, before you sign off here today?
Yeah, I can share a poem. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would put us on the perfect high note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find one. Okay. Yeah, I want one that's not too. Some of them are quite long, so this one's not so long.
Yes, you're quite the epic poet, my friend. You know, which is great. Too much of a good thing is wonderful, as May West once said. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is called Strange. I keep changing the title. Actually, that's why I pause a little bit. Today it's called today. Yeah, today it's called Strange Moon Love.
Brilliant.
So here we are again, you and I, fair lady of the night. Again, you have slipped into my bed naked, save for your silvery splendor. What is it you want from me? Why is it that you cast your full glance upon me and insist I do not sleep, but instead that I lay awake with you? What kind of lover are you that you come and go from my bed as if it were yours? Speak clearly now, for you have my full attention. My mind, body, and soul are yours, and I need not give permission, for you will do with them as you please. These restless tides are yours that carry me beyond the shores of my mind, in search of distant lands that I do not know. On the oceans of why and how, and perhaps you cast me adrift, seemingly never to reach a place where answers lie. But for tonight, you shall have your way with me, and we will make strange love again, for I really have no choice. Yes, I will lie with you now and again when the time comes, for one thing is clear: I am yours.
Beautiful. God, that's lovely. That's a feast, my friend. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you for your appreciation, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you for your presence, and thank you for your work. Yeah, which you know, I think our works, they're going to weave. There's going to be some weaving together.
Yes, I honestly, I feel I'm being called to a higher task suddenly. Yeah. You've really inspired me today. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we'll leave it there for the moment. People can go tell us your website, if you would please, or where to connect with you.
Yeah, my website is just the 3 W's, migueldean.net. to make sure I get that right. Yeah, migueldean.net. And yeah, I'm pretty prolific with my blogging on Facebook, really. So if you want to connect with me through Facebook, yeah, just Miguel Dean on Facebook. That would be great as well.
Right. And you do also sessions with people, counseling and healing?
Yes, yes. I've just kind of reframed that a little bit. Yeah, I do one-to-one sessions, and I'm calling them sacred masculine sessions because just when I'm looking at the feedback, it's people receive a sacred an energetic transmission,
Sure.
which healing and catalytic in nature.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
one-to-one sessions that they're essentially a conversation, a sharing on the surface, but as we know, there's a lot more actually goes on in the deep in that process. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're usually focused around that twin flame alchemy,
Okay.
within ourselves, the dance of the divine masculine and feminine, and how that shows up and how that manifests in our worlds, in our relationships, in our relationship with ourselves, with others, etc.
Right. Very good. And with that description, are you mostly working with men?
With that description, I'm mostly working with women.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's very
That was the other answer. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. It's for
Right.
men and women,
Right.
and there is still a predominance that the women are showing up more, and they're
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah.
But there are also signs that the men are coming, and I think there's that real strong. I was just thinking about this the other day. There is still just such a strong thing of, I have to do this by myself. If we're a man,
Right.
that we struggle on by ourselves, and there is, to be vulnerable and to say, hey, fuck, I'm struggling. I need help. I need some support here. Seems to
Right.
be harder for men still to do that than it is for women to reach out.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, bless us. God bless the women leading the charge. They
Yeah.
truly are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes. It's all happening. It's all happening, and what I don't know what progress, what changes we'll see in our lifetimes. But I always say the work that we do is for the children and the generations to come. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I don't see any change. I know, and we know that we are creating the blueprints. We are sowing the seeds, and for the generations to take up the mantle and continue the work. It's all good.
Yes. 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 Terence McKenna said, it's not only better than you imagine, it's better than you can imagine.
Excellent. Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on the same page, my friend, and it's a joy.
We are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. Yeah, love and blessing. Yeah, love and
You
blessing.
too. Have a wonderful day. God bless you, Miguel.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye bye for now.
Yes. Bye for now. Thanks a million.
Bye.